everybody.
I think we're live.
Welcome to the Here Be Dragons Artcast.
Yes, the Narwhal song is my ringtone, which is awesome. How is everybody doing tonight?
How are you doing?
I am good. Trying to get my shit together.
We're here with Mindy K. Lee, but we'll go ahead and do our intros.
Welcome to Here Be Dragons, where creativity meets courage and dragons live in the art we create and the lives we lead. I'm Carla Morrow of DragonLady Art, and with me is my co-pilot and dragon rider extraordinaire,
Alan Childers of Alan Childers Art and Illustrations. We're here to talk about the dragons we face, the treasure or the booty we're after, and the wondrously weird journey of life. Every episode will explore what it takes to face your dragons and maybe even ride one.
So grab your shields, sharpen your claws, and let's dive in today because we're asking the question that matters most. What dragons are you facing? Hello.
Hello. Welcome to Here Be Dragons, Mindy. This is Mindy K. Lee. Hi.
Hello.
Mindy, would you like to introduce yourself and tell our guests a little bit about who you are and your experience as an artist?
Okay. Well, I'm Mindy Lee. I've been drawing since as long as I can remember, 3 years old, if not younger. My mediums and styles have changed a lot over the years. I think I've kind of figured out where I'm at right now and what I like to do. As a full-time job, I work as a business advisor for the Small Business Development Center. So I spend all day, every day helping other people start and grow their small businesses, which of course means I have no energy or time for mine when I get home, which is okay. I still love what I do. And I'm very excited to be here.
Well, thank you for coming on. Mindy, one of the questions that we ask all of our guests initially is if you're facing any dragons in your art craft or preventing you from making work. You just briefly mentioned not having enough energy to possibly create. So that might be a dragon that you may be facing with some of your art.
Yeah, I would say energy, time, the fall of democracy. Just so many things. So many things. Way.
Fucking
yes, that's definitely in there.
So just a few things in the way.
Hello. I pulled up chat, so
okay,
try to keep an eye on chat.
Right. Hello, hey Adrian. So can you tell our listeners and the folks watching this who will watch this on YouTube or watching it live, what style of art that you illustrate with, or what's your mediums of choice, and what kind of genres and stuff do you create with your art?
So I primarily, at least lately, do traditional pen art. I use micron pens; those are kind of my go-to, and I usually do stippling or cross-hatching are typically the two, depending on the time I have and how much my hands are going to cramp, how much I want my hands to cramp. I will pick one or the other. Stippling, not so much lately, just because of time. But that's primarily what I do. I do dabble in digital art sometimes. I did find that there was a period of time, I think like last year, where I spent so much time on digital that I kind of felt like I forgot how to do pen on paper. And so I'm trying to make it a goal of mine to use my iPad as little as possible this year. And anytime I feel like drawing, just to pull out my sketchbook and a pen. So I have stopped carrying my iPad around, and I'm now carrying my sketchbook so that I can do that.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've experienced this. For sometimes when I use my iPad and I create art with it, sometimes I start to feel like there's like a sameness, like it maybe like I don't know if it's just the pre-generated pencils or the pressure or whatnot, but there's like there tends to be a sameness that I can recognize in my art, and then like with other people's art as well. Like maybe that wasn't as original or something as I could have done, or maybe didn't have as many of the nuances that come with like traditional illustration or drawing.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that feeling. I also kind of feel like my problem with digital is that I strive for perfection really, really bad with digital because I'm like, there's no excuse for me to not have a perfect line here or a perfect arch or circle. And then when I do it on paper, that stuff's not perfect and it's a little more loose. And so I think I'm trying to fix that perfection that I strive for when I'm doing art. And I'm just trying to be more okay with like, sometimes lines aren't going to be straight. Sometimes circles aren't going to look like a complete circle, and that's okay. And I should be okay with that. And
it doesn't seem to matter how many times you double tap your sketchbook. That line doesn't ever go away.
Yeah.
I have done that so many times. Drawing. Oh, we lost her.
She'll be back in.
Oh my God. The internet here is so bad. Like small town. I live in a teeny tiny town. It's like, I live at 7,000 feet. It's a mountain town. Somebody took out a tower the next town over and it's affecting our internet. And they're supposed to have it all fixed, but apparently it's not quite all fixed. But hopefully it'll just be in and out and not just like gone for 20 minutes.
They'll be like, that tea shop's sucking up too much juice.
No, we just switched internet, but they put in the password wrong, so we can't access the new internet that we just switched to. So yeah, that's fun. Anyway.
Always fun. Always fun. So Mindy, let's talk about subject matter. What kind of subject matter or what kind of fun things do you like to, or what is your genres that you like to illustrate?
I would say spooky or kooky are kind of two. If it's not kind of spooky, then it's just kind of like weird and silly and outrageous and maybe slightly offensive. I don't know.
From what I've seen,
got you into doing like the darker stuff, because that's something that I've kind of toyed with a little bit, but my art ends up going to rainbow, sunshine, peace and love anyway.
Ooh, tell her about your books.
My books?
Yeah, tell her about your reference books.
Oh my gosh, I have so many. There's an author. They're called Kale James books, and they have so many of them. Like there's some with mythology, some with vintage anatomy, monsters, or flash tattoos. Like there's so many different genres of this kind of book. I have so many of them, and I love looking at those. I have an Arkham Horror art book because I love the art style of the H.P. Lovecraftian stuff.
Absolutely.
And I have a lot of like human anatomy books as well, because that's just, I'm trying to get better about, bones are difficult if you like the rib cage. I have a lot of trouble with, but
so Dover did a book a couple of years ago, and I'll have to friend you on Facebook and send it to you because it's freaking beautiful. But it's old medical illustrations from like the turn of the century. So it's like the woman sitting turned and like her back is flayed open and stuff.
Yeah, Mindy would love that.
Stunning.
That's Mindy's Christmas gift.
We'll have to friend request on Facebook, and I'll send you, because I have a bunch of those too, like the human body, the pulled back muscles and stuff like that. So yeah, cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you've seen the curiosity, if you've been to like the Curiosities and Oddities Expo in around that region, some of that is definitely what I think of whenever I see Mindy's art. And then she also does like Fat Booty Warriors and with big geek.
Alan's with us.
He talks about the Fat Booty Wario quite often. I think that's.
I think you need a whole line of just fat booty characters.
Of course you do.
I do also have some pinup art of Hank Hill from King of the Hill.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I love that.
We need some more characters in there. Maybe Marge Simpson or Homer.
So yeah, it's either a disemboweled rabbit or sexy Hank Hill. There's no in between.
Nice. Yes.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Are you okay, Alan?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, internet. I coughed. I'm human. Should have muted myself. Bad podcaster. Ruined the immersion.
So where did you start? Because I know we were talking a little bit beforehand about being into like murder podcasting and stuff like that, which I'm totally all over too. But Like, were you always like, I was a goth girl in the 90s and I was always into that kind of.
And she dropped again. Frozen. Oh, and it's like.
Sorry, guys.
Your face was frozen there for a hot minute too.
Oh, I'm sure it was a great face too.
Yeah, I was like, Carla's gonna drop in and out all night long, folks, just because the internet's being weird over there. So
sorry. Welcome to Here Be Dragons.
Yep.
Where we fuck things up.
Yes. Hey, we should put that on a t-shirt. Welcome to Here Be Dragons, where we fuck things up.
Make a good t-shirt.
Yes. So yeah, were you always like into the goth like culture stuff, the dark oddity stuff?
It wasn't until I was a little bit older.
Okay.
I was way too dorky in high school. I was not into the. I mean,
You're among dorks here.
I always liked the aesthetic, but I just, whether it was money or just living out in a rural area, didn't have access to that kind of clothing. I also am terrible.
There was no local Hot Topic.
Yeah, but even that was like 30, 40 minutes away from where I lived. So
right?
it wasn't like a skip down the road to get some, chain wallets or whatever. That's just how in tune I am with things. But I always liked the aesthetic. I just didn't do it when I was in high school. I was just super dorky, which is fine. I don't mind it.
No, that's totally fine.
My parents always said like, "Oh, you were such a good kid. You didn't go to the parties." And it's like I wasn't invited to the parties. That's why I didn't go.
Me neither. That's why I became an artist. Yeah.
You should have crashed. You should have just crashed.
No, I was the kid that like getting grounded was a great punishment. Cause I'm like, I got to spend all night in my room.
Me
I
too.
can draw and read. Ooh,
right. Do whatever the hell I want and not have to like socialize.
My mom couldn't punish me at all. Like I'd go to my room, read comics and draw, and like she couldn't punish me. It was just like, what are you gonna do? Send me to my room? It's like a vacation.
Exactly.
Right? Yes.
So
trench coat. Yes.
Yeah. I had I don't know if your parents let you do this, but I had like murals kind of painted on my bedroom walls. Like I had drawings and stuff, and she just let me go crazy. So drawing all kinds of stuff.
I think if I wanted to, they wouldn't have cared, but I strictly stuck to my sketchbooks and my homework pages for any of my art. And I think my problem is that if I had to see my art every day, like just lingering there where anybody could see it out in the open, I would stress over it and I would hate it. At least with a sketchbook, I can close it and set it to the side. I don't have to look at it all the time because I'm hypercritical, as I'm sure you guys are familiar with that.
Judging you. Your artwork's like that one line is just judging you.
I know. It would drive me nuts, and then I would try to fix it. I'd screw it up more, and then I would just cry, and then I have to paint over everything. So I just didn't put anything on my walls.
I was super hard on myself at first with my artwork whenever I was younger. I tried really hard to be perfect like that. And then I got kind of like Neosho County Community College. I got like a little art scholarship there. And not because of my ability at art, but because of just lack of discipline, I was not able to stay in school. So after that, I just kind of like went crazy with my artwork. Like I started doing like way more sketchier style and whimsical style and stuff like that. So like I have like just a very loose hand, but if I don't draw loose, then it goes way too heavy and like dark. So it's like, I just kind of like, just whatever.
Yeah, and that's almost like you were saying about digital earlier. That's almost the downside of digital is you can redo that line over and over and over again. Or if you hold it straight, it'll straighten the line. Or you can turn the jitter out and things like that to fix all that stuff. And I've come across an awful lot of people that can draw very, very well digitally, but then you hand them a sketchbook and they really, really struggle because you lose those tools, right? You lose,
Yeah, and I think that was something we talked about before. was it before we went live? I don't know. My brain.
Sorry, it kind of blurs together.
I used my iPad for so long, for a long period of time. And then I felt like I lost all training with pen to paper. So that's why I'm trying to stick to that this year. So I don't use my iPad as much.
There's really, I for some reason, I don't know if you guys feel this way, traditional media or pen and paper gives me more dopamine hits, like more like sensory enjoyment than digital. Like I am proud of myself when I make a good digital piece. I am. But like the process, like I enjoy the process of sketching, turning my sketch around, the sounds, the noise that it makes, the auditory noise that it makes. There's a lot of sensory stuff, I think, that being a traditional artist has a lot of merit that doesn't get really talked about, I think.
Yeah, there's like an haptic feedback or something from just the feeling of the brush dragging upon the surface and having to, hand mix paint, dipping it in here, mixing it, and then, applying it to your surface or whatever. That was definitely lost in digital, because I did the same thing. I had gallbladder surgery and I couldn't sit at my art desk, so I went fully digital for about 5 years, because I could take my iPad anywhere, right? You can go to anywhere you want, and it's right there. I can sit like a shrimp on the couch and still paint, as opposed to sitting at my table trying to sit at a good angle. And so the jump back to traditional, I have found that I've really enjoyed. Like, I never thought I was a process artist, and now I'm realizing that I'm totally a process artist. Like, I like the process of applying a medium to a surface and going from there. And when you're painting digitally, and again, this is no knock at digital artists are freaking awesome, but it's your pencil brush is the same as your watercolor brush, is the same as your oil brush. It's the same, no matter what. And kind of what you were saying, Alan, is the experience isn't there. It's the same, you're on this 12 by whatever screen, no matter what. And even with the Paperlight cover, it's still not quite the same. And the pencil tip is the same no matter what. And, even if you blow it up really big, you're not painting really big, you're still painting this small, even though your image is blown up. And so you're missing a lot of that multi-sensory, input. And I've heard, I was talking to another friend of mine recently about reading the same thing, reading on a Kindle versus reading a physical book, right? I've seen more people remember the books that they read when they read physical books, because they're turning the pages and they're smelling the book and they're, holding it and looking at the cover. And on the Kindle, you just hit a couple of buttons and then you can go. And again, I use both, but the enjoyment from a physical book is definitely much higher than, on a Kindle. So yeah.
The only thing that I will say I like to read digitally is comic books, because like every time I read a comic book digitally, especially when you're using a free app from the library, you're like, oh, look how much money I saved. Just checking this out from the library.
Right?
There's something about going into a bookstore and shopping around. And
there still is.
I worked in one for 10 years. I'm going back for the summer. Yep. I miss being around that many books for sure.
Yeah, the smell of the ink and everything. Totally. Mindy, what is your education like? Did you go to school for art, or has it just always been like something that was like you did to for enjoyment, or did you ever consider doing artwork professionally or going to it for school or anything like that?
So I never, the most training I've had in art formally has been one semester high school art class.
Okay.
And even
sometimes
in that
that's
class,
all you need.
apparently, but and even in that class, I was able to talk to my art teacher and say, like, look, I'm not good at painting, I'm not good at sculpting. Can I just draw like the whole semester? And she was fine with that. So I just spent the whole semester drawing, and any project or theme or topic that came up that maybe it was like everyone has to paint within this theme, I would just draw it. So I got away with that. But I was also a good kid. Again, very dorky, rule follower. So she didn't mind. But
me too.
I tried to take an art class in college, and I didn't like the it just felt like there were a lot of rules. I didn't like that. Because I just like to be able to sit down and draw when I feel like it and draw what I feel like drawing. And using the tools I want to use. And I think I was in that class for maybe 2 weeks before I dropped out. So yeah, it's always just been something I do in my free time that I enjoy doing. And I've spent a lot of time kind of figuring out what style and tone and medium I like. And then I think I've found it finally after many, many years. And yeah.
A lot of experimentation. Well, I mean, I think that's great. I think that we can all come there. Like, art is not something that has to be come at through the lens of like a capitalist venture, right? It could be come at through the lens of, this is what I do for my peace, my enjoyment. This is a practice that will sustain me throughout my life. And I think that, I think with Carla and I think trying to find the balance of the happy medium between that, where, you're doing it you're thinking about doing it for pay, but you want to make something that you enjoy and that others will enjoy as well. But you, as through the Small Business Bureau, you probably have seen like artists come through there. And like what kind of tips or advice as a person that is a small business person, would you give to them as far as like how to run themselves more like a business, or try to be more professional with their artwork?
So I work with a lot of people primarily on social media marketing and websites. And the one thing that I tell all of them is that in terms of creating content online, process videos are the way to go, because people love seeing how things are done and how things are made. And I think that so many people are tired of the AI stuff that you're seeing over and over again. There's just no process to it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really fascinating to see how things are made. And that's kind of the number one tip I give to people. Like, it's so easy. Just get a phone stand, set it up, and then just have it start recording. And, I've had a client that was crocheting, and I said, just set your phone up and have it zoomed in on your hands crocheting. And then you can speed the video up 3 times. And there you go. You have like a quick time lapse video that you can post online. And it was very little effort to do that. I am much better about giving advice than taking my own advice. Don't say that. Again, by the time I get home at the end of the day, I want to create something, but I don't have the energy to. And I think most artists and anybody in a creative space just absolutely despise social media, despise all the things you have to do to be on social media and get found on social media.
Another hoop to jump through.
Yes. And at the end of the day, organic content's great, but Facebook and Instagram, I would say Instagram's a little better about organic content, but Facebook particularly, they really want you to put money into advertising and boosting, and that's how they can push your content more in front of other people's content. So
yeah, 110,000 followers, and I reach maybe 30 whenever I post something, maybe. And I've been building the page now since 2012. So my page is 15 years old, and
you probably had a lot more engagement 10 years ago than you did.
Absolutely, I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We talk a lot about the enshittification of social media, and over the last 15, 20 years has just really gotten so worse. Like, because when I first started the page was the hot thing, and then like now your profile actually gets more engagement than your business pages, because they want you to invest in that page format. They're trying to turn you or
Yeah.
they're trying to turn your business into the product for them. So,
Yep. And I tell people that as far as like organically reaching people, TikTok is amazing at that. Like you can reach so many people organically, so much easier on TikTok as opposed to Instagram or Facebook. But in that same vein, if you hate making video content, it's not going to be for you because TikTok's big on video content, and people will notice if you hate making video content.
I hate it. I hate the short form video content. I
or
don't
if you're
even
not
like scrolling.
consistent, they'll punish. They punish you in the algorithm for not being consistent.
Yep.
So,
but I don't even like consuming it, let alone making it. So it's just not. It's just not my bag.
Yeah,
I feel very.
I have a business page. I have all but abandoned it at this point, and I should just outright delete it because I just don't pay attention to it. If I post anything, it's on my personal page. I get better reception, and it's because it's a personal page and not my business page. So yeah,
we found a lot of reach in Substack so far. Substack has a lot of tools underneath the hood that Carla has found that are really great for business as far as like what we're doing with Here Be Dragons and our other business that we're working on with
podcast stuff, which is surprising. So
yeah, they're really trying to be a contender and providing content, and their algorithm so far has just been really great with interaction and showing people work.
Yeah, Alan's gotten quite a bit of traction there on his art pages and stuff, which has been really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I need to start posting on that.
Earlier this year, they sent you a pin.
Are we echoing?
A little bit.
Possibly.
Sorry.
It's probably me.
All right.
Try to. Oh, shoot.
Just checking. Technical difficulties. Sorry, folks.
I know. It's all me.
We don't try to be perfect, but we try to right the ship while we're flying it.
And I even got a new mic. Let's see.
Nathan says, I feel the same in regards to pushing to enjoy what I do, to do work what I enjoy. It is something I've been telling to my students. So Nathan is just won some awards, as well as got some work with some major publishers, and he also teaches is also a professor at a college. So he's teaching art at a college and definitely tries to implement that and let people, because if you don't do what you enjoy or paint what you enjoy, you're not going to continue doing it, I think. So there's definitely where, sometimes in the past I've been geared towards it wasn't me. Excuse me, folks. Sorry.
Sorry, that's my mic
me.
stand. Shush. Okay.
Oh my gosh, we're back into like the audio's off again.
Is it? Oh, mother.
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's like one of those videos from the 70s videos with martial arts videos.
See, I look on my end. It's matching up just fine.
Okay, it could be me.
Okay.
Want,
there's something has to happen it says it's reading the right mic. So it says it's reading the Razer, the new mic. I got a new mic and I got baffles for the walls. So hopefully that'll help with the echo. But I only got one wall up because today was kind of a half day off, and gosh darn it, I was going to take it. I only take half days off. I have too much to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably me. More than likely, it's me.
Always is. So I have an interesting question. Because you work for the Better Business Bureau, and because you know a lot of this other business stuff, like, have you kind of made the decision to stay as a non-professional artist, or like does that? Yeah, like no, honestly, that's okay. Absolutely, that's okay. That doesn't make you less of an artist. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I mean, as Alan's learning, like stepping into the professional level is removing the art and the quality of art and all of that kind of stuff. and focusing on the business side of it, right? That's a whole other can of worms that a lot of people don't want to get into. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? That doesn't make you less of an artist because you don't want to sell it to people or because you want to stay on smaller shows or something like that. Like, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just curious if knowing what you know about the business side of it, like, is that a conscious decision of, yeah, fuck that noise? Like, you know?
I don't want that pressure. I don't need that pressure. I got too much on my plate.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Of course. Like I said, it's the business is completely separate from the art. And I have seen amazing business people with garbage art, right? That do very, very well. And again, not saying anything about anybody particular, but I was just curious if that's a conscious decision that you've made to.
You saying I have garbage art, Carla?
Well, not to your face on the podcast.
Sorry, we threw a bunch at you right there.
You're fine. I would say, in a way, yes, it has kind of. I think that's something that, working at the Small Business Development Center, we have a lot of people come in who all they know is they want to start doing something professionally. They don't know where to start. And then they see just how many steps, how much work it takes to actually like fully establish and start a business. We have a lot of people that, one of the first things we have people do is a cash flow, which kind of explains we don't have to tell people if their idea will work because the financials will do that for them.
Right.
And so we get some people who do that and say, well, this business is not feasible right now. Maybe I'll revisit it later. And we have other people who it looks like it's going to pan out. And so then they move forward with it. And then we help them, steps of registering with the state and locally. And if they need any loans, we can help them, apply for loans.
Oh, very cool.
And there's a lot that goes into starting, managing, and running a business. And at least for me personally, I know everything that is involved in that. And for you to, going more professional with what you're doing and being on a more professional level than I am, I'm sure you guys are aware of how much more extra stuff you have to do outside of just creating the art and then being done with it. And I think for me, at least at this time, I love my job. I love what I do. I don't want to quit my job. But it is 40 hours and I have a 4-year-old. So, it's just, as far as time and energy.
Yeah.
And at least for now, that's just, I love doing it. And I love creating art and I love doing like the local art shows. Those are so much fun to do. And I think I get my social battery gets drained at those events, but it's good to get out and meet people and talk to people and, getting that real world feedback from people, that you see at the art shows. It's really, it's a bonus of creating art, and getting to do things like that. So just where I'm at in my life. It's just a fun hobby I like to do, and I will do some small art shows along the way. But professionally, not quite there yet. Maybe if someday I become independently wealthy, then I will abandon everything and go live in the woods and just create art all day.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up too. Was we do have a wide range of listeners, and a lot of people seem to think that they're less of an artist if they don't like make that jump to full time, right? And that's not it at all. Like I knew at 8 years old that I was going to do art full time, and I've been doing this since I was 24, full time, even with a part-time job, and then full time since the pandemic, which wasn't a bright decision, but here we are. But even then, like I have to get a summer job because the economy is so like booked right now, and so in the trash. And I'm seeing a lot of artists who are going back to getting day jobs to support the art and to get through the hump and to hope that, maybe things will get better in the next few months to few years or whatever. And I would like people to hear different stories so they know that just because you don't want to like throw everything in to go professional, like you're not less of an artist because of that. Because I definitely don't believe that, right? Like I don't believe that's a thing. I think the business is completely separate from the art. And some people just don't want to make the business thing, right? Like we talked to our guest a couple of weeks ago. Ben was kind of in the same thing. Like he went for it, he wasn't happy, and he pulled back. And I after that episode, I had quite a few people reach out and go, "Yeah, that was awesome," because again, they feel bad if they don't go full professional, right? They feel bad because they're not applying for 100,000 person shows or things like that. They just do their local show every couple of months, and that's good. And that does not make you less of an artist, right? That's the business is separate, and a lot of people don't realize that. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, if going full time, and I've seen this multiple times with some more creative like clients that I've worked with, whether it's crocheting, knitting, craft making, whatever it might be. I have seen several of them who feel like that's naturally the next step is to do it full time, like make it their full-time thing. And then they get burnt out so quickly that they just stop creating entirely. And that's not what you want to do. That's the worst thing that could happen. And then they feel like they failed. And then it's like, oh, well, I guess I'm just not good at this. And then they pull back, and it's sad. It makes me really sad to see.
Yeah.
And so I have to and I feel like I have a unique perspective in terms of like me also doing art and shows and things like that I can kind of say, like, you don't have to do this full time. And I always try to tell people, don't quit your day job when you're doing this. Like, it might take off, it might not. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Just if it's stressing you out, it is not worth doing. Like, pull back and just create art for the sake of creating art. And that's really okay.
No, you're not a failure as an artist if you don't make the leap into business, right?
I make a lot better art with a 401k and some healthcare benefits. I mean,
exactly
that measure of security, alleviates that stress. I mean, some people thrive on that stress, like that little push, that little drive. Like if I don't make X amount of money before this cutoff date, I'll have to go into savings to pay, to do some bills or something, cover something. And some people are okay with that. Some people can't do that. The one thing I've learned about, like, for me personally, is like, I work in an art adjacent job. So being able to work in an environment that is creative outside of my own art has been really helpful, and in keeping that creativity going for me, and has led down to some different avenues of art. I've explored, kids art, and hopefully some different avenues of creating. But the thing, as a small business thing, like, I don't know if I would ever cash flow my own, cash flow my ability to be a professional artist, because there's a little bit of a we're a little bit crazy. Like, artists have to have a little crazy in them to pursue this. No matter what the logic says, if the logic says, well, you can't do this, you're not going to be successful in this. And so, but my art brain goes, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. So, like, it's an addiction at this point, when you've been doing it for so long, and then it becomes a part of how you mentally process the world. Like, if I don't go, I can go a little way along. I can go maybe a week and a half without really drawing too much. But after that, I start getting I probably need to create something.
The artist antsy.
Yeah.
And I know I genuinely love the business stuff just as much as the art, right? Like, it tickles the ADHD brain that if I'm not doing multiple things at once, then I crash and burn. So I genuinely like doing both.
She likes spinning a lot of plates in the air. Let me tell you.
I do.
Perfect person to own a business and run a business.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a superpower for sure.
We started. This is kind of a business, right? Like, we're growing this into
getting there.
Business. And then we're growing a secondary business where it's kind of like a merchandising business. So we're going to try and do like stick to a specific genre of merchandising and kind of go and do that. Maybe at some conventions, hopefully. Maybe in
I love how you keep saying trying, but we're already doing it. So
I mean, we're already doing it. I know. I made a mouse.
You're neck deep, bitch. You're stuck.
We were on a sketch jam or a drink and draw on one of our friends' Discords, and it kind of went off to like I'm sitting there working on it on the drink and draw, and I'm making it into the product, right? I got it done. I finished it right there, and I made it into a gaming pad, like a game pad, and like as soon as I made it, he's like, you got the link for that? And like, yeah, we're doing the Critically Epic, and he bought it like right then. So that was kind of cool. You know, it's a good little like ego bump when, you know, somebody's like just, you know, immediately wants to buy your shit.
Oh yeah. I had, the similar thing that happened to me this was years ago. I drew a skeleton version of the Big Lebowski, of the dude from the Big Lebowski. And
that's awesome.
I just posted it on my Instagram, and I had some guy from Saskatchewan reach out and say, "Can I get this as a tattoo?" And I was like, "Yeah, all I want in return is a picture of it if you actually do it." Not thinking he'd do it. A few months later, in my inbox, he sent me a picture. He got that on his forearm, and that just felt super cool to me that some stranger up in Canada thought that my piece was cool enough that he got a tattoo of it, and I just thought that was was awesome.
That's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a former classmate of mine asked me to do like I had never done this kind of work before, but like to do some like stencil dragon things that he could put on his car. So like he got like the graphics of a dragon that I drew put on his car, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool, man. But you draw some of the art you draw is a little macabre, I would say. And there was an incident you told me about at a recent local festival, and I wanted to bring it up here because it's just a great story. What you had your artwork organized in a way where it was only showing like the top portion of the artwork, which was a rabbit. And this woman comes over, and I'll let you tell the rest of the story. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I had my art arranged. My prints were arranged in a way where you could only see the full picture of the ones in the front row. And then for each row back, you only saw the top part of the print. And I had this one on display, and she only saw the top half.
For our listeners, it is a disemboweled rabbit in a pen and ink style, black pen and ink style, very well done. Could be a tattoo. 10 out of 10 stars.
But yeah, she saw just the top half of it, and she was just this really sweet older lady, and she just went, "Oh, I love rabbits." And then she pulled the print up and saw the guts, and then quickly put it down and said, "Oh, well, have a good day." And then she took off, and I felt really bad. But honestly, I felt like if you could see the rest of my stuff I had on display, that the odds of that being a wholesome picture was slim to none. So I don't know. She made the assumption. I guess it's on her, but I still felt really bad.
Yeah.
I definitely noticed that people kind of see what they want to see at shows, right? Until they get like something catches their attention. It's very see what I do dragons, and my whole booth is dragons, but I have done other work before. I have a couple of unicorns. I have some angels, and even with the unicorns, people would pull them out and go, "Oh, it's a unicorn dragon," and I'm like, "No, that's clearly just a unicorn." It's like they couldn't see past the rest of the work. Yeah, it's interesting. I enjoy doing shows.
Your DragonLady branding is all over everything, so they figure. I think they
That's
figure
true.
I think they maybe figure you're like a one-trick pony. I don't know.
I was for a few years.
No, Carla, we've both been to the show. Mindy and I have both been to the show ArtCon down in Neosho, Missouri, and it's a one-day convention. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's just so crazy."
It's overwhelming.
But I think if Mindy would have seen the amount of people that were in Norman, Oklahoma, she would shit.
I can't. Well,
200 to 300,000 people at that show.
Ew, nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
Not for me.
No. I went to the Porta John and came out of the Porta John just as like this rush of people came up, and I had like a mini anxiety attack. Like I had to get back to the booth, and I was like shaking, and I haven't had one in a really long time, and that was not fun. But yeah, even for me, it was a little too much. It's one thing when you're like in your booth behind your table, like surrounded by your own stuff, but then to like step out. You know,
your booth is kind of like your little fortress.
It's very much like sanctuary, and yeah, and they have to come to you, right? But then to walk out into the crowd was a little much. Yeah, I have done Denver Comic Con and Phoenix Comic Con and all these top, 80 to 120,000 people attendees. There's a reason I don't leave my booth the entire time I'm there, right? I do not like crowds. I do not want to walk around. I will stay in the booth and hold it until the end of the day, just to avoid walking amongst crowds. So yeah, it's worth it, but it is a lot.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get to that one, but she had said she was gonna go do it herself. I was like, oh God, I gotta go there and let her have a bathroom break or get some.
Oh yeah, no, you showed up at the right time because it was getting rough. I was hungry. I had to pee, and I didn't know anybody. And then I saw like this giant guy walking through, and I was like, "It's Alan. Yes, I can the bathroom." And I don't think I even said hi. Nice. I just said, "Sit here. I'm gonna
bathroom."
Yeah, sit. Can you sit here for a minute? I gotta use the restroom.
Adrian, that would be 200 to 300,000 people for Norman, Oklahoma on a good weekend. Yeah. And that's if the weather's good. If the weather is bad, they're still gonna get 50 to 80,000 people.
Think about I would think of like an outdoor Gen Con.
Largest single weekend Ren Fair.
Maybe just a little bit less than, like, I would say like maybe 100,000 less than Gen Con, but that's about it.
I think I think it's more, it's just spread out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just more spread out. Somebody told you they should put in, okay, so hearing this reminds me of the time a woman at Ren Fair last year literally told me I should put an angel in my Godzilla painting. Yes. That does not surprise me at all.
This would look good with an angel in it.
Godzilla
doesn't even fit with the mythology, lady.
What if Godzilla's fighting the angel? They're having a battle.
Right, like ripping the wings off. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Mothra.
I think in Godzilla mythology, I think, Mothra kind of has angel vibes. I mean, overall, like, Nathan, would you agree with me? Mothra is like almost angel adjacent.
Is it just because it has wings? Is that
That's literally how she sounded? Yes, wings. Some trumpets playing in the background.
Not everything great. Needs an angel or a pickup truck.
People are funny. People at shows are funny, and you meet all kinds.
I always get at least like one person per show that asks what inspired me to draw something. And I'm like, I just wanted to draw something spooky with big titties. It doesn't go beyond that.
There you go. There's not a whole lot of depth to this.
You know what?
No.
That is, you know what? That's all she wrote right there. That's the tagline for our show. Spooky with big titties.
Spooky with big titties.
I never have like
Mindy Kaylee, spooky with big titties.
I'm just saying, like, I
did we say this was already going to be an explicit episode? I think we said.
I think so. Sorry,
you did agree it would be explicit.
We should lean into that, the explicit art podcast for adults.
Here be Dragons After Dark.
But yeah, I mean, the thought process doesn't go anything beyond that. It's just, this would be kind of fun and spooky to draw, so that's what I'm going to do, and that's it. That's the thought process.
And there is nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I think I've talked about it before. I run a local. Would like to turn it into a nonprofit eventually someday. but SEK Arts Community, and I host like sketch jams and stuff. And Mindy's always come into the sketch jams and stuff, and she'll bring these reference books that are just like almost like medical tomes of viscera and death, and the little kids are going by it and going, oh. And I'm like,
Nice.
oh, sorry, Mom. I tell people that my sketch jam events, kids should not be left unattended. Like, it's not something you leave your kid at and like don't stay.
Right. You should start running them 18 or older, or at least 16 and older.
Right.
Yeah, well, most of the time we don't have kids show up to the sketch jam. And there was one that was at the public library that it just happened to be one where like 2 little kids showed up, like 5 and 6 years old.
I know.
Sitting there, and I'm drawing like a very endowed mermaid. And
as you do.
I have to like cover it up because now these little
I'm like, Mindy, let me see a picture.
not right now.
There will be a time and place, and this is not it.
No.
Like, I'm trying to do some marketing picture here, Mindy. Go ahead and show it.
Nope. Not happening. Not right now. So yeah, I have to be aware of that. Sometimes kids will show up out of the blue.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love
start hosting them at bars.
I love having those, and we do this on Discord too. We have a drink and draw. I like doing those sketch jam things and those socializing things with other artists, because a lot of times you're just like, and Mindy's mentioned this too before, the consistency of having a time dedicated to just draw, like that is your dedicated time to go do a sketch jam or draw, whenever, it's more scheduled rather than like just like, oh, whenever you get the chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And that bonding element too with other artists, right? There's things that artists or creatives or even show people who make their own stuff and vend have to deal with that the general populace doesn't understand. Right. The excitement of finding a reference that you're really excited to draw, or, the crazy people at shows or things like that. There's a language there that a lot of people don't speak. And you kind of forget about that when you surround yourself with artists. Like all of my friends are all business owners. So when we go out to, have lunches together, that's all we talk about is business stuff. And it's just because we're all super excited about that kind of thing. That, I have friends that are not very, very, very few friends that are not business owners. And they don't talk about anything I want to talk about. Like, I don't care about personal drama. I want to talk about numbers and business and social media and shows and like that kind of stuff. Like that's the stuff that interests me, right? Not,
maybe the drama afterwards, like after the.
Well, I mean, it depends on how good the drama is, but yeah it's just.
You're gonna have a lot to talk. You have a lot to talk to people about in Vegas for Critically Epic, don't you? You're gonna be like, oh, I'm doing a new thing.
No.
You're not gonna talk about it? Oh my god.
No. I have my own stuff to push.
Oh, okay.
And so the thing about, that's actually probably a good segue, is next week's episode will be pre-recorded, and we're going to go ahead and put it out. We're going to record it this week because I will be in Vegas at Licensing Expo, which is the largest licensing show in the world, I believe, for sure the country, if not the world. And the thing about Licensing Expo is I can't push my own work. It's big.
Not small
is what she said. Yeah. So like I got invited to a BioWorld party that I'm going to go hobnob with the BioWorld people, who's one of like the largest distributors of nerd memorabilia in the country. Because we just got a contract with them. And like my agent reps 50 different artists, and Frazetta and Amy Brown and David Lozo and Bridget Ashwood and all of these big names in their fields. So when I'm working Vegas and doing the booth there, it's not just my work I'm pushing, it's all of us, right? Anytime somebody comes up to the booth, I have to talk to them, find out what kind of work they're looking for, and then direct them to that particular artist's work. So
you're a different kind of person if you haven't had to use a full.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. Oh. Great Plains was so bad. They didn't clean their privies. And it was like finding the one that, wasn't going to touch your
Ugh.
butt when you sat down. It was so gross.
Oh, that's when you just like jump in your car or run to like
Right.
flag somebody down, like take me to Dollar General.
Right. I'm gonna go to the bathroom up the street. There's a McDonald's. Yeah. So it's a big deal, and I won't be talking too much about my stuff specifically. I'll be talking about all of us as a collective. So.
Oh, okay. No.
Sorry.
That's
but
all right.
You come next year and talk about it to other brands and push it.
That's fine, Carla. That's fine. I'm not going to Vegas. That's fine.
Have you met Amy Brown?
No, I have not met her yet, but we are friends and we have talked several times via the internet and things like that. I keep trying to get her to come to Vegas so she can hang out, and I'm hoping next year she will. But I have met like Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and oh my gosh, sorry, the ADHD just ADHD. Amy Brown, Jessica Galbraith. I've met Jessica Galbraith, and I've met. She's gonna murder me.
Oh God, she's gonna murder you.
Oh my God, there's three.
She's probably watching the podcast
artists
right now. She's probably watching us live.
Three big fairy artists from the 90s: Amy Brown, Jessica Galbraith, and Nene Thomas. I've met Nene Thomas. I got there. I have to think about it. Amy Brown, Jessica Galbraith, Nene Thomas.
You had to say what they did.
You had
to say what they did.
I did. I haven't met Amy Brown in person, but we have talked several times, and she's so sweet. She's a sweet baby angel. I love Amy Brown. She's just
we should invite her on the show. That would be cool.
She probably would. We'll have to have Bridget Ashwood on first, otherwise Bridget will murder me.
Yeah, I'd like to. Bridget's got great work too.
Bridget's work is amazing. Yeah. She does a lot of pagan related stuff, and she's a really well-known puzzle artist, and yeah. I have amazing friends. I know the coolest people.
Carla has the in on like all she names drops all the time. She know it's
not name dropping if they're friends, and I like called them up earlier that day.
We had this personal kind of like one-on-one with this guy who's worked with
Jeff Haney,
who's worked with like all these big name game studios,
Blizzard, and Clive Barker. He worked on the Clive Barker game from the 90s.
Yeah, Clive Barker game from the 90s. It doesn't impress Mindy unless it has the word Bethesda in it, and she's really like waiting.
He's probably worked with Bethesda. I'm sure he mentioned that. Yeah. But yeah, he's a friend of mine, and he's amazing. And
yeah, I think he said Myst. Yeah, he mentioned Myst. I think he worked on Myst. Yeah, I think that's what he mentioned.
I don't remember.
I think he mentioned Myst.
But he was in the industry for a long time, and now he's out of the industry. He does a lot of puzzle stuff. And now he's going the fine art route, which is the same route that I'm going into, is more fine art related. And he's just, I know the best people, because they all want to see us succeed, right? They don't care. There's no ego. And that's what I can love about Las Vegas is after everything's like said and done, we all collect into one room. Bridget gets a suite, and there's 8 to 10 of us artists, and we're all talking about the business of art and creativity and our process and everything. And there is not a single ego in that room. Not a single ego in that room.
Except for
Carla. And we're just, well, I mean, one of us has to lead the charge, right? Like, no. I'm sitting at the feet of greats. I mean, it's amazing. Like, some of these artists are mind-boggling. And
look at Nathan name dropping in the comments. Nathan's like, Jonah Lowe, who was an artist on Skyrim and Fallout, is sort of a friend of mine. Skyrim, yeah, we know. See that? Like, I have connections, Mindy. Aren't you impressed now?
Well, now
that's why he kisses so much ass.
That's
why he's like, be my friend. I want connections too. Please, can I have connections?
Carla's like complaining like, all these artists writing on my coattails, and then I'm over here like, so Carla.
Yes. I gave him some trade secrets earlier, and I said if he ever let them slip out, he was going to lose his cash cow, and I was going to leave.
Oh.
I have
You're
to
only
ask
friends with
now,
me for my
got all
connections.
these connections. Can you tell them when the hell they're going to bring out Elder Scrolls 6? Because I've been waiting. I have been
They don't tell
waiting.
the artist shit.
Yeah, I
please.
actually saw something like I think I saw something that said that like Elder Scrolls 6 might be a ways out.
Yeah,
Hopefully that's not.
2029.
Yeah, that's what I saw something that said that too. That's
can't
freaking
wait.
ridiculous. Like
I don't know. World of
Elder
Warcraft
Scrolls
is on
Online
top of
not-
their releases, so I don't know what problem you all have.
I'm
you
just
know
saying,
Elder Scrolls Online is not making that much money.
don't put out
True.
a trailer for a video game that's not going to come out for more than 10 years after you release the trailer. Because then you get me upset. And
I mean, if they're doing a good job on it, I mean, I want them to take the time, but I also want to fucking play it, you know?
that's what I'm saying. Don't put the trailer out until you're closer to being done with the game.
Right.
That's all I'm
And
asking.
this is why I still play WoW.
She's
Every
into the-
2 years we get an X pack, bitch. Every 2 years.
You didn't even like the last X Pack.
No, it's just overwhelming, and I haven't played it yet, so I went back to playing classic WoW. Shut up! You don't know. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know what you said. So, Mindy, one of the things that we try to that we discuss on here sometimes, and I think it might be interesting to you as a small business person, not to jump off topic or back into the topic.
Side quest.
But, yeah, side quest. Is that we kind of talk about like art related businesses, like not as one conglomerate of art, but like certain art markets. We talk about like there's a the fine art market, there's the illustration art market, there's the freelance art market. So there's multiple different business markets. And so tailoring your artwork towards what market that you want to be in, and maybe you want to be in multiple markets. Like Carla's kind of got her toe in at least 3 or 4 markets right now.
Yes.
Yes. You know, at least
yes.
she's whole hog into one for sure with the dragons, and then you know dip it, but like dipping.
And the pagan market.
Yeah.
You know, I've done several Oracle decks. I'm dipping into the fine art market, the gaming market with Critically Epic that we're working on together. And
so it's
can't have just one.
I think it's interesting from a small business point of view to be able to like with the literacy of how massive the art market is, because you can't just put like they're almost like little universes unto themselves, and you have to kind of be transient to like be able to like be flexible enough to, if you want to go into something, to shift your, and some people don't do this, they shift their styles into the different art markets or even their business strategy to accommodate different art markets, because they're different beasts. Because you know, like the studio art market in like a metropolitan downtown area is almost like these closed loop systems where like you almost have to know somebody to get in to like a downtown studio in like Kansas City or some of these St. Louis places, or even New York City or further away, like larger ones. So like you almost have to like know people or have like a buy-in.
Yeah.
So I just find it fascinating from a business perspective sometimes, like the overall systemic landscape of art, how massive it is, and how many different tendrils there are, and how interconnected those tendrils sometimes are too. So.
Well, and even the difference between shows, because I've done conventions, I've done anime, furry, general sci-fi conventions, comic book conventions, and then I've done Renaissance fairs, and I've done soft side and hard. Well, I was looking at the hard side, the big multi-weekend rent fairs, and then the fine art shows, and you know, street fairs and stuff. I mean, even just the different fairs you can do are completely different from each other and require different ecosystems and different cultures, right? My Dragons only do okay at comic book conventions, but they do much better at Renaissance fairs. And the fine art does okay at Renaissance fairs, but it does much better at fine art shows, right? So it's understanding your audience and what the purpose is. And I've done street fairs before, and I don't do well at street fairs at all.
Which is strange to me.
Yeah.
I would think that you would kill at a street fair.
No, most of the ones, and it may just be the region that I'm in. I'm in southern New Mexico, so I've done shows in southern New Mexico, mid New Mexico, and Texas, so like El Paso. And
everybody might have your heart.
Never done well at them, and I don't play on the local level. I don't do small shows anymore. If it's a booth fee under $50, I won't touch it. I will not touch it.
Man, booth fee at $50, I'm on it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, no. If it and I honestly try to shoot for $150 to $300.
I just said we lost audio. He lost audio or we lost audio. Can you hear us now? Nathan, how are we doing on Facebook?
Ben, where are you watching from? He might be watching from Twitch.
He's watching from Twitch.
Okay. Weird.
I
can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's back.
Oh, okay, good. Maybe it was just a hiccup. The internet in Ruidoso is really, really bad, so it probably just dropped that out. But yeah. If it's a $50 under booth fee, I will not touch it, because the people that tend to go to these shows, not knocking them at all, they want little tchotchkes or they want less expensive stuff, and like my smallest unit starts at $20, right? I just recently added bookmarks that were $5, and even then it was like $5 each or 5 for 20, and a lot of people did the 5 for 20 deal. But a lot of times, or they'll go and they'll want like cheap jewelry, and again, there's nothing wrong with those things. It's just not my crowd. So
yeah, I would say with things like that, I don't encourage people to. I mean, it's good to explore and try things out and see what works, what doesn't work. I would say, like, if you're already naturally doing some fine art, some, Renaissance style dragons, whatever. I mean, if you're already doing that, and then you can tailor like what prints or paintings you bring to each one, that's good. Usually I hate to see people like try to force their style into a market they're going to. And then if they do well, then they feel like a failure. And that's like the worst thing. And it makes me so sad to see. I think it's important for people to identify what markets would be best for them and where their stuff would do well, and to focus on that. And because I think I see this a lot with social media in general with businesses where they feel like they have to be everywhere all at once. Like, the more platforms I'm on, the more people will see me. And I can see artists doing the same thing with like the more markets and, art shows I go to, the more people will see me. But for some people, I mean, this is, at least from my personal experience at ArtCon, because it was much bigger than the local art walk that we do here in Pittsburgh. And it's like, yeah, more people are coming through, but you're also competing with a lot more vendors. Yeah. And if what you're selling isn't tailored to the crowd as much as like some other show might be, you're probably not going to do as well. And it's like, you could have more people come through, but if your stuff's not hitting that audience, you're competing with so many other vendors who are
absolutely
in that. And then, and that could just end up, you end the day with, a headache and lost money. And that's not,
I've definitely lost money at ArtCon. I was placed, and it sometimes it's not even about it's where you're placed within the convention and who you're placed next to. I was placed in a bad position one time at ArtCon, and I didn't even make like $50. Like it was 50 to $100 is all I made, and it was a real ego buster for me. And like I was down for like a month afterwards, just like, fuck, I don't even want to do this anymore. But it doesn't take me long to like get back on the horse and be like, oh fuck, let's do it. It's just like gambling, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm a natural gambler at heart, because Carla even busted me out one time, because she's like, as Mindy knows, because me and her husband hang out, I would I'll go and spend $140 at a casino. But then Carla busted me out for not doing the Ren Fest. Like, you'll go spend $140 at the casino, but you won't spend $150 on a table at a Ren Fest that will probably give you a better outcome. And so I was like, you know what? When you put it like that, those are better odds than the craps or the roulette. So, yeah.
It's not going to like what I have to tell him.
No.
I don't know why he keeps calling.
Location. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and it depends on part of the country. Like I've done states where I haven't done very well either, or I've had $0 shows, and that's part of like accepting just what happens and realizing that it's not you, it's the crowd, or it's the show, or it's that's. And again, I've
Carla knows those smaller shows in Arizona are not going to be
right. Exactly. I've been doing this for over 20 years now, so I have a handle on what's where my work is going to sell, and I know that I've done several street festivals. I've tried every couple of years. I go back, and Christmas festivals, I don't do well at Christmas shows. And every couple of years I'm like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take more stuff, like more blankets and mugs and gifty items. And it doesn't matter. They're not there for that kind of stuff. And, and that's okay. I just choose not to do them anymore. And I feel bad because I have a lot of people that like run local shows that ask me to go do them. And I won't. They started a Comic-Con here, and more power to them. I'm really excited for them to do it. But I know that the booth fee that they want versus what I can make at that show is not going to do it. And I can't be if you want me to come as a guest, absolutely, we can talk. But I've done the tattoo conventions here. I've done a few of them now and have never done very well on things like that. So it's just not worth it to me. I would rather spend $1,000 and travel 2 states away and make $3,000 versus spending $100 locally and maybe pulling $300 because I can make more money staying home painting at that point. So, but that's all stuff that you got to figure out for yourself, right? That's all stuff you've got to, you can only do so much market research because you may be a comic book artist thinking you're going to do well at a Comic-Con and you still don't, right? And maybe the work isn't for comic book. And again, some of the bigger conventions, I quit doing well because there are big names there, right? As you were talking about competing. Right now I'm competing against artists that are published and in Magic the Gathering and in comic books and do that. So when people find out that they're going to be at that show, they're excited and they go to that show just to see those people. And I'm skipped over because I'm not published in those places. Now, I did a metaphysical show and people couldn't believe that I was there because they own those Oracle decks, right? They have those decks. And I was like low-key famous. And people were like, oh my God, I can't believe you're the artist and you're here. It's my favorite Oracle deck. I love it. I love it.
Got that at Norman.
I'm like,
too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, but I've done Norman for like 15 years.
Yeah.
So,
she was like, at Norman, there was people coming into her booth going, I have this one. I have this one. I have this one. And I'm just like, that's so fucking cool. I have people that do that at Art Walk too, because they're like, oh, I have this one. I have this one. Do you have any new dragons? So I feel like I've always got to refresh them with some fresh stuff. But this was, I think we're a little bit over for the hour, but this is so thank you, Mindy, for coming on. Is there anything where I think maybe Art Walk next fall, Art Walk or Goblin Market too after that?
I think the fall Art Walk is September 19th, I think.
September 19th, and Goblin Market's on October 24th. So far, unless you do 620 Day, I don't know if you're going to go do that. But.
No, I usually just take my daughter to that and walk around and spend way too much money on a snow cone and then leave.
It's usually hot.
it's so hot. That's why I don't do it. I don't want to. I am not an outdoorsy person. If there's air conditioning, it's really hard to get me to go anywhere. So
Yeah, I quit doing shows June, July, and part of August unless they're inside. Yeah, no.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm hoping the 6th and the 7th is not cooking me out there at the Art Walk, so or at the Silver Sage Ren Fest, but we'll see. I'm gonna bring. I have a huge thing of bottled, like a thing of bottled water and a cooler I can take, but
I'll have to send you the neck coolers that I picked up that you
oh,
put
that'd be
in there.
sweet.
Yeah, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, but thank you for coming on, Mindy. This is really great. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no
Is there
problem. It was
anything you want to plug? Anything that where can people find your work? Where can people find you?
fun. I'm on Facebook. Again, I'm not very good at keeping up with my Facebook. I would say my Instagram probably is more up to date. It's MKlee Art on Instagram. And I do have a TikTok, but I don't post much on there either. So maybe just find me on Instagram. It might be the best place.
We'll definitely add that to the show notes so people can find you. And I think it's already up on the website. So each of our guests has a page on the website that has the links to all their stuff and a short bio and stuff. So we're trying to, we're still new enough that I can keep up with that. We'll see if it continues on after, episode 40 or 50. So, but thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us on Here Be Dragons. Make sure to like, subscribe, find us on the web at herebedragonsartcast.com. We're on Substack. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, and anywhere else you listen. We are on all the things. We're like legit and stuff now, which is pretty cool. So
We're legit.
thank you guys. We're legit. We're for real. And next week is episode 10, which is kind of sad that we're pre-recording it, but we'll figure something out. So thank you guys. Have a good night, and we'll appreciate you all joining.